If you or a family member have been hurt because of the careless actions of another person, call Walker Texas Lawyer. They'll work to get you the financial compensation and justice you deserve. They have 40 years of experience, and you don't pay unless you win. Call 713-881-9653 today for a consultation or go to walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk, you me funny lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
And he's joining me right now to talk Emeril Tailgates. He's joining us right now inside the spotlight. We're excited for this new series on the Roku channel. The one and only Emeril Lagasse joins us. Emeril, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. It's so great to talk to you about this series and of course, about your pit stop here in Houston. What you do, you go to 8 different cities that have great football teams involved, and you are making a pit stop here in Houston, Texas. Of course, that's where the season kicks off. Tell us about your time here in Houston. And I want to talk to you about Houston cuisine, too, because Houston's such a diverse city. Obviously, people think of what we do best, Tex-Mex and barbecue. What are your thoughts on Houston cuisine as well and in formulating what you were going to do for the show?
Well, the thing about Houston particularly is that it's culturally influenced by a lot of different cultures, which then means a lot of different ingredients. So I think it's a great city because it's so close to the Gulf. It's so close to Louisiana. It has its own great farmland. You have the Galveston area, which is a whole nother touch of seafood. And then you have all those, you have those influences of other cultures. There's a huge influence of Latin cuisine. There's a huge influence in Vietnamese cuisine. I think Houston has some of the best Vietnamese cuisine in America. One of my favorite places to eat Vietnamese food is in Houston, of course, as well as New Orleans. But we start with Houston, and basically we go in and we research whatever city that we're in. We research the fan base. We research these super fans that we're going to invite to New Orleans to come and tailgate with us. And we really see how they're tailgating. And of course, there's the slogan of everything's bigger in Texas. There had some amazing tailgating go on. And you would think that probably a lot of tacos, yes, but a lot of nachos, yes, but there was food from all over the planet there. A lot of brisket, a lot of creative things being done with brisket. Of course, that smell of mesquite in the air, on the grills. I'll tell you what, it's Brad, it's more than hot dogs and hamburgers these days. When these super fans came, and they were awesome, the super fans from Houston, we decided, okay, well, we got this down, and they were cooks as well, so they were serious cooks. We started doing some grilled jalapeno poppers, which we stuffed them with cheese, and we lightly floured them, and then we grilled them. We did an awesome chili con queso because we did this spiced flap steak that was to die for, just the right amount of spice, and we sort of grilled that, and we used the local mesquite, a little bit of the local mesquite. And like I said, the super fans, there's a lot of things that I've learned doing the show, particularly starting off with Houston. They all have a food plan. So Prior proper planning is very important. Tailgating. Every one of them has said to me, if you or anyone thinks that you're going to get up on Sunday morning at 4 a.m. and you're going to bring your stuff and go tailgating and have 40 people, 20 people, whatever. I've seen them as big as 700, 800 people. You're wrong. You got to have a food plan. You got a prior plan. So a lot of these people, I remember talking to so many of them from Houston. That's what they're doing. They're prior planning. So they're already got the brisket marinating on Thursday, and they already got the beans, going on Thursday, and then another component comes on Friday, and it's a big, just sort of a big lift as Sunday approaches, if it's a Sunday game, because as you know now, it's Saturday college, big time, and you want to talk about big tailgating things happening in college. It's unbelievable. Look at Texas. It's just amazing, the fan base. LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, Boston College, Michigan. It's unbelievable. You have 30, 40,000 people at a college tailgate. It's insane. And then Sunday, now you got the NFL. Then you got Monday Night Football. Then you got Thursday Night Football. I'm loving it because it's just, for me, it's food, football, food.
Can't go wrong with that, Emeril. Food,
Exactly.
food, football, food are words to live by, of course, and we love that you stopped here in Houston. Now, I guess this is my question, because you mentioned the diversity of our cuisine here in Houston, but obviously, United States, every pocket has something that it offers. How has travel influenced your cooking style and philosophy over the years, but more specifically for this show?
Well, I always learn a lot from traveling, whether it's here domestically or whether it's abroad. I think it's a great way to learn. It's a sort of a mini college when you do that. It's interesting to me to see the influences around the country, as we go further west, towards the West Coast, and, California has its own style, a lot of Latin influences, but a lot of Latin influences different than, say, Texas. Okay. So, very different. And you move up the coast and you come to Seattle, and the influences of Seattle, very prominent with seafood, with crab, with salmon. And you move, to the Midwest, and you got Detroit, and you got Green Bay, which they use a lot of cheese and a lot of beer, and, that sort of thing. And Chicago has, its own style. And then, you keep moving further east, and, Buffalo is different than the city of New York, and even right across the way, Giants is different than the Jets. So their influences are, very different. So it's really great to see, because it gets me excited. It gets me excited about seeing different ingredients and different cultural influences, and it's really cool.
Emeril Tailgates is streaming right now on the Roku channel. We have the namesake of the show with us right now, Emeril Lagasse. Emeril, when I was growing up, first off, my grandparents had a BAM pop holder in their kitchen for my entire childhood, and I saw it in there every day of my life, and it's just incredible to get to talk to you now. My grandfather was such a huge fan of yours, as am I. But my grandmother would make these grits, and the grits were, I'm in the South. We love our grits down here. They hold such a special place in my heart, and I've tried my whole life to try to recreate them. I can't figure it out. For you growing up, was there that one special dish that you had that really you hold near and dear to you?
Very much so, and I still cherish them today. I mean, my mom was Portuguese and my dad was French Canadian, so there are a lot of those Portuguese influences I still do today, and try to spread the love a little bit. Getting back to grits, when I had grits, but then when I moved to New Orleans, which is now over 40 years ago, grits became pretty special. And then I realized that it's a way that they're milled. First of all, you just can't go to the store. I mean, you can go to the store and buy those, just quick grits or whatever. That's one thing. When you get a really good grilled grit, when you get it really milled right way, and that's stirring, and it's kind of slow, and the right amount of liquid, and then the right amount of butter, and then cheese. I love cheese in my grits, and and then if you cook them hard, you can really sort of shape them afterwards. So I serve grits, a lot of grits, and then I'll let them cook a little hard, and then I'll put them in a sheet pan, a little half sheet pan, and let them cool, refrigerate them. Then I cut them the next day into little grit cakes, and I just sort of pan fry them, and they're fantastic.
I just finished lunch, but I think I'm hungry again. You figured out how to do it. That sounds incredible. And you know, I love New Orleans too. I mean, obviously, it's not far from where I am in Houston. Making that trip over there, and you know, one of my favorites is Cafe Sabisa. That's been over there forever. That I love to go to. What are some of the spots in New Orleans that you would recommend to some of our listeners and viewers who could make that pilgrimage over?
Well, you know, beside our restaurants,
Your
beside
restaurant.
the flagship, which is under construction right now, we're renovating the restaurant, and Merrill is my other restaurant here. You know, they're the big, what I call the big boys. I mean, they're the Commander's Palace and the Galatoire's and Antoine's. Those places are, you know, are great. But you know, there's a lot of new young chefs that have come on the scene, and not only what's come on the scene here in New Orleans is that the cultural influences now. I mean, you can get good Indian food. You know, always could get Italian, French, of course. You know, the classic Creole, you know, Cajun stuff. You could always get that here. But now a lot of these young chefs that are coming in, and a couple of Asian places have popped up, and some really, really good class act sushi places have opened up. So the list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's definitely worth the trip, like you said, to come on over and experience.
Every time I go to Las Vegas, I stay at the MGM Grand. I always go to your restaurant that's there in the MGM Grand. It's great. They have some frog legs that are there, some cornbread that I love as well. How do you manage your restaurants that have your namesake on them to make sure that they live up to what your standards are?
Well, you know, a lot of my colleagues that have restaurants, not only just in Vegas, but around, they sort of have these licensing deals. So the two restaurants you were talking about in Las Vegas, the MGM, the Fish House, and then the Steakhouse, Delmonico Steakhouse in the Venetian Hotel, are our restaurants. They're proprietary to us. I mean, they're not licensing deals at all. So the people and the staff that I have there are well-trained. And as I like to say, they're well emeralized. I have some people out there that have literally been with me 25 plus years. So, you know, they know exactly the standards. They know exactly not only the service standards, but the food standards. My culinary director out there, Ronnie Rainwater, can't speak enough about him. Tremendous human being, but a tremendous chef and a tremendous director. And like my GM at the steakhouses, I mean, he was with me when his mom worked for me at NOLA. I had all 5 or 6 of her kids working for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
25 years later, he's still with me. He's the general manager of the steakhouse. So it's kind of those, you know, I get out there a lot. I have some directors that get out there more. And it's really just, you know, we're not experimenting with people. You know, it's what we're doing is we're doing real food the real way, and keeping as much simplicity as we possibly can, but with great ingredients is also a key.
Emeril Lagasse joins us. I have time for one more question. Emeril Tailgates season is streaming right now on the Roku channel. Again, it's been an honor and a pleasure to talk to you, sir. But my final question for you, if you were to cook a meal that encapsulates who you are as a chef and as a human being, what would it be?
Phew. That's a tough question because my palate changes daily because I'm influenced by the weather. I'm influenced by the season and what's being grown in that season. So as an example, we just recently started a new farm with a new farmer who are raising quail for us for the flagship, because quail is going to be one of the menu items on the fall menu. I'm tremendously touched by the Gulf. I love seafood and shellfish. So I have a restaurant in Florida called Emeril's Coastal in Destin, and I work really, really close with a lot of fishermen. So we work very close with our farmers, with our growers, with our fishermen. So I would say that if it was today that I was creating something for you, then I would say, well, you know what, there would be something shellfish for sure. There'd be a fish course for sure. There would be some sort of creative pasta, only because I love pasta. There would be some sort of meat. If the quail was ready, we would do some sort of special quail dish for you. If not, we would find something else. And probably, no doubt, would end you with banana cream pie with banana crust and caramel, which has been a signature at Emeril's for forever, and now is at Merrill.
Oh, sounds delicious. Well, it's been an honor to talk to you. Just thank you for all the years of good food and good entertainment, and we can't wait to watch more seasons of you tailgating around this great nation. Emeril Lagasse, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Hurry up, tape running out.